Caitlin Clark's Taylor Swift 2.0 moment explained by Fever coach in candid revelation. Caitlin Clark received a striking comparison from Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White, who described her as Taylor Swift 2.0 during a recent podcast appearance on December 5, 2025. White shared the remark while discussing Clark's work ethic and public impact. The comments quickly gained attention as fans revisited Clark's rising popularity both on and off the court. The discussion came during White's conversation with Sue Bird on the Bird's Eye View podcast. The coach highlighted Clark's discipline, her ability to manage celebrity-level attention, and her commitment to her daily routine. The comparison reflects Clark's growing influence, which continues to expand beyond basketball. Why Stephanie White sees Caitlin Clark as Taylor Swift 2.0. White said Clark's habits stood out from the moment she joined the Fever. She described Clark as efficient, focused, and relentless in her preparation. No wasted movements and no wasted reps were among the phrases White used while explaining Clark's approach. The comments were consistent with her reputation across the WNBA, where players and coaches often speak about her intense attention to detail. The coach also noted that Clark faces constant public attention similar to global entertainers. The comparison to Taylor Swift was not about performance style but about scale. Clark's ability to manage her visibility, workload, and expectations reminded White of how major celebrities balance pressure with productivity. She said Clark handles the spotlight with maturity and consistency, even as her schedule expands with media appearances and sponsorship demands. Clark has also been seen at multiple Kansas City Chiefs games, often overlapping with Swift, who is engaged to Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce. Their shared presence at high-profile events became a familiar storyline over the past year. While the two have different careers, their convergence in popular culture has fueled ongoing comparisons among fans and analysts. How Clark's rising profile is shaping the Fever and the WNBA. Clark's second WNBA season ended early due to recurring groin and hip issues, creating challenges for the Fever's rotation. Despite injuries, the team advanced to the WNBA playoffs and reached the semifinals before falling to the Las Vegas Aces. Her absence highlighted both her value and the team's ability to compete without her. Her return next season is expected to bring renewed momentum. Analysts from major outlets, including AP and CNN, have repeatedly discussed Clark's influence on league attendance and television viewership. Her presence routinely lifts fan engagement, and comparisons like White's underline her broader cultural footprint. Clark's expanding visibility, coupled with her performance, continues to position her as one of the most influential figures in women's basketball. Her coach's Taylor Swift 2.0 description only reinforces the scale of her growing reach. iNews covers the latest and most impactful stories across entertainment, business, sports, politics, and technology, from AI breakthroughs to major global developments. Stay updated with the trends shaping our world. For news tips, editorial feedback, or professional inquiries, please email us at info@zoambangla.com. Get the latest news and breaking news first by following us on Google News, Twitter, Facebook, Telegram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Indiana's practice facility had seen its share of noise, echoes of basketballs, sneakers whispering across polished hardwood, teammates shouting through drills, but on this particular morning, there was a different kind of buzz. Not from reporters. Not from players. From Fever head coach Christy Sides, who had just finished a radio interview and returned to practice with a grin plastered across her face, the kind of smile that said, "Wait till everyone hears this." Caitlin Clark, finishing a string of logo-range shots like she was flicking pebbles into a pond, noticed first. "Oh," she teased, spinning the ball in her hands. "What did you say out there?" Christy clasped her hands dramatically. "Oh, you'll see. I may have compared you to someone minor. A small-time celebrity. Hardly anybody knows her." Caitlin raised an eyebrow. "Taylor Swift." A couple of teammates gasped like it was a plot twist in a soap opera. Others burst out laughing. Caitlin covered her face with her jersey. "No. No, you didn't." "Oh, but I did," Christy replied proudly. "Called you Taylor Swift 2.0. And I meant every word." The gym erupted, playful jeers, clapping, mock cheers of Caitlin's version. But beneath the teasing, everyone knew it wasn't exaggeration. The Fever had been living inside a tornado ever since Clark arrived, a whirlwind of ticket surges, cameras, celebrity sightings, late-night interviews, endorsements, and a tidal wave of new fans who had never watched a WNBA game until she stepped on the court. But only Christy knew the full story behind the comparison, and why she'd chosen this week, of all weeks, to reveal it. The moment that started it all. It had happened months earlier, the night the Fever were in New York. The arena was already packed an hour before tip-off. Kids with signs, adults in jerseys, teenagers with friendship bracelets that spelled CC or Logo Queen. Reporters had spilled into every available pocket of space. Even the ushers were whispering like they were at a concert waiting for the headliner. That's when Christy noticed something strange. As the players warmed up, the lights dimmed, not for a show, but because fans had started switching on their phone flashlights. Hundreds of tiny white flickers dotted the lower bowl. Then the mid-level. Then all the way to the rafters. More and more until the arena shimmered like a stadium before a superstar emerged from the stage's trapdoor. But they weren't cheering the Liberty. They weren't chanting the home team's name. They were chanting hers. Sing him. It was eerie, beautiful, overwhelming. Christy watched Clark freeze for a second, her shooting rhythm interrupted not by noise but by its meaning. She blinked hard, like someone trying to stay present during a dream. That was the moment, Christy later told the Fever staff, when she knew her point guard wasn't just a player, she was a phenomenon. A cultural one. A once-in-a-generation wave, like an album drop that crashes every streaming platform. Christy didn't share the story publicly at the time, mostly to protect Caitlin's peace. The pressure was already asteroid-sized. Adding pop star comparisons would be gasoline on a flame. But she never forgot what she saw. And she never stopped watching it grow. The day it became undeniable. A month later, during a particularly intense stretch of the season, the Fever took a rare off day to breathe. Caitlin chose to spend hers quietly, coffee, film study, maybe a long walk. She'd learned to enjoy silence the way most people enjoyed music. But silence, as it turned out, wasn't in the cards. A small group of fans had discovered her favorite cafe, nothing new. But by the time she stepped outside, that small group had turned into a sidewalk crowd. People with iPhones lifted overhead. A few held jerseys. A couple had tears in their eyes like they were meeting their childhood hero. One little girl, maybe 10, stood trembling, holding a notebook. Caitlin crouched beside her and asked, "What's your name?" "Emiya," the girl squeaked. "You're my favorite person in the world." The world. Not athlete. Not player. Person.